things in the show notes below the video. We're going to roll right into cosplay nostalgia today. I think I meant to talk about Stranger Things. If you listen to the podcast, of course, you're going to get a better breakdown into parts 1, 2, and 3 at the beginning of the week. And then you're going to get the YouTube video, which goes in a completely different direction, but has the same thing. We are talking about cosplayable characters from different shows, from different genres. And we're talking about every cosplay has a shelf life, because that's true. Every cosplay does, with very few exceptions. If you put on a Superman costume, if you put on a Batman costume, those are pretty universal. They're gonna always generate some buzz for that character. And Batman especially is not great to wear. Wonder Woman is another one that's just always there, right? But there are some that really have a shelf life. Movie comes out, movie has its run, movie goes away, cosplay goes away. I call it pop cosplay, right? I've talked about that before on the show. And to me, it feels more and more like the industry is manufacturing cosplayable characters, because they're not always the characters that are main characters. They are characters that have some sort of very visual representation in a show, an outfit that's very specific and very easy to wear, right? Very, very distinct. And they do this over and over again, it seems, especially more recently, because they know that they can create the costumes and that you're going to buy them. And that's generally what this is. It's all about visual storytelling. And if they can get this stuff, Barbie was a very good example of that. Her clothes are so distinct and everyone bought into it. Maybe Ken not so much, but everybody bought into Barbie. I say some of the success that Barbie had as a movie is due to the cosplay community. Everyone going out and promoting a movie about a Barbie doll that I'm not sure 5 years ago you would have even wanted there to be a movie for, because that Barbie is such a disproportionate female and that she's very stereotypical, and that in a previous iteration we would have all said that this is the worst movie to come out because of the message that it tells little girls about who they are supposed to be. I haven't seen the movie, but I know that is what Barbie used to be, that if she was a proportionate human, she would be like way too tall and nothing would make any sense. Like there's not a lot that makes sense about a Barbie doll in the first place, and it is a poor representation of a female in general. That's what I used to hear. Suddenly everybody wants to cosplay this character and be a part of this movie, and forget that there was even this conversation. Where did it go? Well, do you have any proof that this even happened? Right. Maybe it was before Instagram existed, but that it became a thing. Why? Because nostalgia sells. Stranger Things is a great example of how nostalgia sells. Reboots and bringing these franchises from the 80s back, Indiana Jones, the Ghostbusters. I mean, there are so many not original ideas coming back, and we're reusing those same characters, and we're just feeding it to the next generation. Transformers and My Little Pony and She-Ra and He-Man and all of these different new cartoons, new cosplays that aren't new. These are ideas that have been around since I was a kid, and they were new back then, newer, but they haven't really done anything except take our childhood and adapt the old ideas to a new generation, because it sells. Because instead of back when I was a kid, see, the fun thing was you turn on the TV when you get home and you see all these crazy commercials with all the action figures, with all video games, all this stuff that you wanted as a little kid. So then you bring it to your mom or dad and tell them how much you wanted that. But back then, you had to explain it all to them. You had to tell them what a Nintendo Entertainment System was. You had to say, well, I don't have a zapper gun because I need one and I need to get it. And it looks like this and it's gray and it has this and it's you point it at the TV and these magical things happen. You had to explain to them because they had no context for that. That doesn't exist anymore. You're not actually selling anything to the parents. The parents love the stuff. They just want to buy it again. They're going to share that with their kids. It's a much easier sell when you're going with nostalgia. Keeping all of these ideas going for as long as they have has gotten them nothing but buy-in for a generation of kids that were hooked on the toys to repurchase everything under a little bit of a different look and feel for their own kids. It's marketing, it's sales. And now the adults, some of them, are finding that they can share this with their children in many ways. We can cosplay the characters with them. We can just do all of the things. And it's, you know, it's moving on to the next thing. It's just a lot of, what do you do with all of this as a cosplayer? Because pop cosplay, obviously something that I've talked about, has its space inside of the cosplay community, but so does the nostalgia and the characters and the fandoms that we grew up with and really love, right? Like, you know, Tasmania and X-Men and Batman the animated series, all these shows that we used to watch as kids. I used to watch them all the time. Every Saturday would come around, I'd get all excited, and there we go. But it's okay to have new ideas. It's okay that you and your kid doesn't necessarily relate to this exact same fandom. That's okay. But that whatever it is that you're doing online, make sure that you're not just doing it because that's the trend and that's what the industry wants you to do. Do it for you. Be relatable, be authentic, be yourself, be that person. You're not really hiding behind the cosplay. A lot of people say that cosplay makes them more confident. It builds something inside of them that when they put on the costume, they feel more like the character. They feel like Captain America. They feel stronger. They feel more independent when they wear something that represents that power and that respect and that command of that whatever superhero that is, whatever anime character that is. Like, it's something inside of us that says we want to connect with this, and it says this is what people want to see. But when you get back into it, is that what you want? Do you want to be a pop cosplayer and just keep moving to the next thing and the next thing because you just need to stay relevant to your audience? Or do you want it to be more relatable? Do you want it to be more authentic? Do you want to be true to you? Because yes, we're here to sell, we're here to build, we're here to grow, but I think we need to do that in an honest way. We need to do that in a way that is authentic to our audience. That is really what this is all about. And it's what I hear the most inside of the cosplay community. For those of us who are trying to cancel other people, or those of us who are trying to resist the status quo of the community, everybody has a voice. Everybody has something to say. It's just, are you just saying it because you are defending your own viewpoint? Or are you saying it because you don't want to be attacked by the people who are on the attack? Because that's always something too that seems to happen a lot in the community. And really, isn't it just about the nostalgia, fandom, connection, the community? Isn't it just about being in the same space with people who enjoy the same thing? Do there have to be all of these arguments and all these weird things going on? And does it always have to be about some agenda? Or does it always have to be about an injustice? Can it just be about the cosplay? Can it just be about, I spent a lot of time building this and it was very expensive and I wanted to share that with you? Or does it always have to be, this is the new movie coming out and this is what everybody else is doing, and if I don't do it, I'm weird? Or if I don't do it, I'm not fitting in with this group. If I don't go to the premieres and if I don't check the boxes, then I don't have anything. I'm not going to be seen. I'm not going to be heard. But that's not how it has to be. You don't need to be Malcolm Cosplay, but you can get into what you want to talk about. And that's really what we're doing with season 5. We're getting into what we want to talk about. We are giving you the information that we believe will help you build whatever you want to build and do it in a way that makes you feel good instead of always wondering if it makes everybody else feel good, and it's validation for you because of what they think about it. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today, folks. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. This is Scotty B with Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary saying bye-bye.